Train the muscles, not the joints. So I'm gonna go to the gym now. I'm just gonna get a coffee first and then drive out the Chilliwack. Yeah, I feel pretty good today. I already trained some arms in the garage. I did some calves and I did a little bit of bis and tris, or whatever, just about 4 or 5 sets. So yeah, actually I'll show you right now what I did for triceps. There you go, you just saw it, okay? So it's a new exercise that I'm doing lately, and I find that it actually works really well. Doing 2 dumbbells instead of just 1 dumbbell for overhead tricep extension seems to not only be easier on the elbows, but I find that I get the long head of the tricep even more so than with the dumbbells. It's also because I have short arms too. Sometimes the dumbbell hits me in the back of the head and stuff when I only use 1 dumbbell. So again, it always depends on your dimensions, but I find using 2 dumbbells might be the right change up that you might need in your training program, so try it out. Go. And I'm here. Okay, right now this is like my favorite thing to do for chest. I'm gonna be doing some incline Smith machine, then I'm gonna go to incline dumbbell. I did this my last workout, so it's kind of like 2 workouts in a row. I'm kind of doing this just for fun. I find it hits the upper chest quite well. And you know, there's something to be said for just changing things up, just for the sake of changing things up, just for fun. So I got my music on the background there, as you noticed. And those of you guys that are asking about where to purchase my music and stuff and my albums, I will have a new album coming out in about a month. At naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, it'll be on there, so if you want to get it. So today I'm going to be doing some chest and back. I already did some bis and tris in the garage. Now I know I talked about order of body parts, not to train triceps before bench press and stuff. But because my triceps, I'm trying to really grow those anyway, I'm not too worried about pre-exhausting them a bit. And at the same time, I like to get the blood moving in the morning, and then it seems to really propel my workout later on in the afternoon when I come to the gym. So anything to keep this stuff interesting, right? Anything to keep it interesting, it's a good thing. So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about subtle variation, and that tricep exercise that I showed you in the beginning of the video is an example of that. Just by doing something as simple as using 2 dumbbells instead of 1 dumbbell, I noticed a totally different level of activation in my triceps, and I have noticed some growth as well from that. So the close grip bench press and the overhead tricep extension with 2 dumbbells has really helped me bring up my triceps. Good. Oh God, this stuff is fun. So really my point is, don't underestimate subtle changes in your training because they can make huge differences. So if you're not getting results from a certain exercise, sometimes it's just a subtle tweak or a subtle adjustment that will make all the difference in the world for you. An example of one of those subtle tweaks is me moving to the Smith machine instead of doing free weights for inclines, just for a change, and I have noticed my upper chest has come up from that.
can't tell you how many times I've encountered people in the gym and just made a small adjustment in their technique just by turning the elbow in or keeping the elbow out, and that made all the difference in the world in whether they hit the actual body part that they wanted. So you adjust the range of motion, but you also can adjust the technique.
One more.
On that note, I had somebody ask me about close grip bench press, and they noticed that they get a lot of front delt activity from close grip bench press. Well, one technique that I do with a lot of people is if they are noticing that they're getting a lot of front delt activity from the close grip bench, start flaring the elbows just a little bit. Just bring the elbows out, bring the bar a little bit higher on your chest rather than towards the sternum, and you'll notice that that tricep will start getting activated rather than the delts. Now, it's true that you can get a little bit too creative with your gym exercises or your technique. Okay, you know, the Facebook and YouTube, and, you know, it's all full of some of these people doing some really insane stuff in the gym. And the thing is that I don't mind people getting creative, but the thing is that you want to make sure when you are getting creative that you're not getting creative in a dangerous sort of way and not putting your body at a mechanical disadvantage. The thing is that sometimes people like to flare their elbows when it comes down to bench press and all this kind of stuff. And if you're doing lighter weights and things, then I would say, well, maybe it's worth a try. But if you start doing something that is just too extreme on the joints, then you may notice that it just leads you to more injury. There's a difference between changing your technique in an exercise, so that way you're stressing a certain muscle. But if you notice that you're changing your technique, but it's putting an exponential amount of stress on the joints, then discard that technique. That can't be the right technique. I'm not advocating anything to do with that, just so you know. So it's okay to change your technique around, but make sure that you are keeping that stress off the joints when you do so. Now, speaking about subtleties in your training, the lat pull down has a lot of subtleties. You can do a lot of little adjustments with the lat pull down, aside from pronated and supinated grip. I mean, there's so many different attachments and things you can do, but just assume that you're just using this bar that I'm using here. If you bring your hands in just a little bit, by 1 inch on each side, you will notice that you stretch a different part of the upper back than if you have a more wide grip. Sometimes the wider grip doesn't necessarily hit your lats more. There's this fallacy out there that people say, oh, wide grip hits the lats. Wide grip does hit the lats, but it doesn't necessarily hit the lats more than a medium grip. So it's more about finding that happy medium. So don't be afraid to adjust your grip outwards or inwards and find that perfect sweet spot where you really feel those lats. Now, the other thing is you want to make sure that your elbow is in the right position. And a lot of times people will have their elbows flared out so much that they start to internally rotate the bar down instead of keeping the elbows in slightly. Because if your elbows are in slightly, you will cause the lat to become more stretched at the top range of the motion, and it will keep that tension on the back instead of the arms. So that's a very subtle technique, but it works amazing on building a bigger back.
that was a wicked workout. So I didn't do a lot for back. The reason why is because I did some Romanians yesterday and I did a lot of rear delts as well, a lot of bend over laterals and everything. So I didn't really need to hit the upper back that much, but I did hit the lats, of course. And of course I did get a wicked awesome chest workout in and some arms earlier and all that. So here's what it looked like. I'll show you. Now that crap is over, I'm gonna go have a cheat meal. Okay, so I'm gonna have some chicken and fries and some gravy and all that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna have some ice cream and stuff. So today's my day. So Saturdays, usually I'll have something to eat like that. I try to stick to just protein and carbs during the week with a lower fat content, but now I'm gonna have a big kind of meal and fill up, right? So that's another reason why I trained twice today, trying to get a lot of the carbs and everything depleted out of the system, so any cheating I do on my diet is not gonna affect me quite as bad, but I guarantee you tomorrow I'll feel it, because the thing is with eating those foods, I like eating them because it's fun, but at the same time, it's not always the best for training, right? So doing one meal a week like this is not so bad, but if I was gonna eat like this all the time, I'd feel like crap, I wouldn't be able to train this hard. So thanks a lot for watching, and make sure you share my stuff.